So by now it's 2024, and I'm getting a pretty good feel of what is actually being asked of me. What are we being called to do? Number one, unplug from the old paradigm. Surrender your old life. Create space for the new. Number two, plug into the divine matrix. Trust what it is giving you. Accept it. Don't resist. Be in the energy of loving what you do all the time. So yes, I see the contrast of the energies of the 3D versus the 5D every week, because I go to town to do the shopping and I have to immerse myself back into the 3D and kind of change my chip, and it's quite tiring for everybody that lived at the Jungle Hub. We all know the Friday afternoon feeling of being super tired after being in the city. At the Jungle Hub, we have very, very different energies. Jungle Hub is beginning to look more and more like my idea of the 5D. Not just because we are immersed in a beautiful nature, surrounded by wild animals and forests and waterfalls where you can swim, but the gardens around the house are very well maintained, and they are simply the local plants that I, as the gardener of the Jungle Hub, arrange. So the gardens are amazing, the peace, right, that you can breathe here. There is no noise, no city noise at all, only the sounds of nature, the birds and the geckos. No pollution here, right? No pollution in the air, no pollution in the waves. Very, very healthy food. With time, because I am entering into my 6th year here at the Jungle Hub, with time I begin to notice that there are many more energies that are a lot more subtle, that belong to this 5D energy that is manifesting here at the Jungle Hub. So it has become very evident to me that in the transition to the 5D, it is very important not what you believe and what your beliefs are, but your actual attitude. I think it's important that you begin to befriend the idea that you and your beliefs are going to have a very serious conversation and are going to part, because that's not what matters anymore. Your actual attitude, your actual energy, right? It's not about believing in something that you don't really experience, you don't really feel, but I guess I believe. No, it's about actually experiencing the experience, right? It is an inner state, not a set of beliefs, not knowledge, right? The knowledge that you have about religion A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever, it's not going to be important. What's going to be important is your actual inner state. Are you being authentic? Are you integrating every aspect of you, good and bad, and putting them into a whole again? That is the word heal, is to be whole again. And as Castañeda says, it's a lot about feeling, just feeling everything. Learn to feel frequencies, learn to feel energies. And in order to do that, we need to learn to quiet the mind. That's where I stress always in the meditations at the Jungle Hub, right? It's relearning how to feel in order to calm the mind is super important. And while I was journaling these ideas, I was sitting here at the Jungle Hub at the terrace and looking at the sky. I see a cloud that looks exactly like the gesture of saying shh. So I am understanding that I really need to quiet my mind for a long time at a time and relearn how does it feel to be me by sensation, by intuition. So in the 5D, everything is about frequency. Are you in the frequency, right? Not do you know about certain belief and what they postulate and what you philosophize about it. No, it's your actual frequency, right? And authenticity is the highest of frequencies, right? Authenticity is learning to look at all aspects of your self, all aspects that are fragmented into little pieces everywhere. First, to have the courage to look, what aspects of me am I still not so proud about? What else aspects of me am I terrified about? Everything needs to be collected back into a single whole, observed, felt. And as I have been doing this, I begin to understand that we waste so much time trying to control uncertainty, right? We are in this constant carousel, in this constant ping pong between worry and control. As soon as uncertainty comes, oh my God, uncertainty, the worst enemy of the ego. And then we enter this cycle of worry and control. There's uncertainty, we worry, we have doubt, and now we get controlling, right? That's worry. Worry simply means to be controlling in your head about everything. Oh, and this, and I need to control this, and I need to change this, and because if not, this bad outcome is going to happen, and like that. So this is how I came to the understanding of the first that I call 5D energies, really. And I have them in sets of opposites because we are talking about the inverted matrix here. The false matrix, the 3D, whatever people call it, it's an inversion of the divine matrix, right? And sometimes it's really, really opposing. So I understood that in order to combat control, what do? You go to trust, right? Trust is the most important energy in the 5D because it's the one that breaks the program. The main program running in the inverted matrix is doubt, doubting yourself. And this is very easy to catch. For example, is always the go-to is how does it feel? And to be controlling, you know how everybody knows how that feels like. You're in your chatty brain, in your chatty mind, trying to control things, trying to move here left and right and this option and that other option, and I'm going to talk to this person and ask for advice, and I'm going to go to talk to this other person and ask for advice, and then I'm going to put it in an Excel sheet to do the pros and cons of everything and calculate what my next step is. That is a lot of chatter. I just went through a lot of words very quickly. That's words. That's the realm of words, brain, logic. And trust is not there at all. You don't calculate trust. You don't argue trust. You just trust. And when you trust, you know it. You know it. And then I began to understand more the 3D, right? What is the reward system in the current world where we live? What is the reward system? To be greedy, right? The CEOs of the biggest companies. To be greedy, to be manipulative, right? Look at the algorithms in the social media. Look at how the media presents the material to the people. It's about being deceiving. And those are the aspects of a person nowadays that makes it into a big career. In the transition to 5D, you're going to be noticing more and more that the reward is giving for authenticity. People are going to notice a person and feel and tune in to their energy and go like, yeah, or no. So that's changing. Authenticity is what is going to be rewarded for your path, right? For you to choose your path, because authenticity is the highest frequency. Authenticity will catapult you into your destiny, because you're not being picky, you're not being choosy about the experiences you want to have. You're open to see whatever needs to be seen, right? That's how you integrate those aspects of you, all aspects of you. So another one, in the 3D, what are people's credentials? Titles, curriculum, papers. You have to demonstrate, right? Because otherwise the assumption is that you're lying, because that's rewarded, right? To be a liar is rewarded. So the assumption is that you're being manipulative, and therefore you need to prove with a paper and a signature and stamps and I don't know what else. In the transition to the 5D and in the 5D, the credential is, again, your authenticity. You present yourself and people read you like an open book. Yes, and then the matching dream for these journal entries was one very amazing. I was outside and it was getting dark, and all of a sudden I see this swarm of jellyfish-like alien creatures that begin to descend in different places, many of them at the same time, and they're luminous and they have cool colors and they are kind of floating down. And then one lands on me and I'm being guided to this futuristic chair where I sit down, and then in front of me appear television screens. It's like they're showing me a lot of things that I still needed to see, and it's very futuristic. There are controls around me, and there is like an intercom kind of thing with a speaker, and I hear a voice through the intercom say, who is the being assisting you at the moment? And then I hear a voice from behind, I am assisting him. And I turn around and it's an archangel. I must tell you, the dream was weird. The stuff that was being presented to me in the screens was very uncomfortable to watch. But it was also powerful. It was powerful. Since the beginning, since I saw these amoeba-like beings. Yes, if you're interested in coming to the Jungle Hub, there's many ways you can do that. You can check our links in our channel description and follow our website. We are also in Instagram, junglehub_Costa Rica. So yes, let's get in touch and come experience the Jungle Hub in person. You can come as a volunteer, you can come as a guest if you don't have that many days. So let's get in touch. All right, I'll see you next one.